Hello everyone and welcome to another webinar by Royal Cyber. My name is Amar Nadeem and I'm a Senior Business Development Executive at Royal Cyber and I'll be your host for today. Before we start, if anyone is not able to view my screen or hear me properly, kindly notify me in the chat window located on the right side of the pane. Now for a start, I want to talk about how today global businesses are keen in recognizing the importance of implementing processes that are agile and well mapped to the needs of the market they operate in. Companies deploy various business process management solutions to alter and fine-tune their processes for better agility and maximum business benefits. In this webinar, we will discuss how Royal Cyber provides end-to-end BPM automated test solution, which encourages collaboration between developers, quality assurance, domain experts, and stakeholders. Now, before we begin, I'd like to take a look at the agenda for today. Today, we're going to have a brief overview on the Royal Cyber company profile. Also, we're going to talk about the IBM BPM automation using Selenium and Cucumber. We're going to brush over the behavior of the drive development. Also, we're going to see the test definition and reporting. And last but not the least, we will have a virtual demo. Now, as always, we have a great speaker with us. And before we start, I'd like to introduce the speaker for today. But before that, let's talk about a little about the Royal Cyber profile. Royal Cyber is a modernized e-business solution provider specializing in software deployment. We are an IBM Premier Business Partner, an IBM Authorized Trainer, and Microsoft Certified Gold Partners. Since our inception in 2002, our experts have been leaders in providing exceptional and award-winning services to organizations of different industry verticals all across the globe. We have a headquarters in Chicago, Illinois, and we have a global footprint with offices and development centers across North America, Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East region. Our strategic move of establishing an offshore center in Asia has helped us reduce cost and provide highly competitive rates to our valued clients without ever compromising over quality. Now, as always, we have a great speaker with us. And the speaker, before we start, I'd like to introduce our speaker for today, Ms. Rajni Nalathambi. Ms. Rajni has 12 years of experience in the IT industry and has around 6 years of experience in the IBM Business Process Manager. Currently designated as Practice Head, Smarter Process, and Solution Architect at Royal Cyber, she comes with an enterprise architect expertise. She's worked extensively on solutions around BPM, integration with different IBM, SAP, and Oracle stacks. And without any further ado, let me hand it over to Ms. Rajni. Yes, Rajni, glad to have you back. If you can start from the presentation from the top again after the Royal Cyber profile. I believe there was some technical difficulties, but we're good to go now.
Sure. Thanks, Amar. Sorry for the interruption. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss, like from the previous slide. So we kind of went ahead and talked about Cucumber, which works as over Selenium WebDriver for your Chrome testings or, any kind of browser testings that you would like to do. Because normally on the automation side of it, we are going to go ahead and use Mozilla and Chrome and all the webinars. So Appium is where you try to use the automation tool of testing against the mobile. So this is where we kind of discussed. And let's get into the, more of how we leveraged BPM and using Selenium, how we automated the BPM flows. So we all know that, we deal with a lot of human code screens, and we have more and more code screens in terms when we have been working with financial clients as well as, other vertical clients. We have many code screens, which is more than, 50 to 80 screens that would run around, and how do we automate this? So a manual tester is going to make sure you're having a long deployment cycle. So we kind of automated with the help of the behavior-driven approach. So especially with Selenium, it's easy maintenance, and it's a repository of code that you can tie up to your existing repositories, and you get a good test coverage, which we'll be seeing further, like what are the different test coverage provided at the Selenium, and you have more visual reports. So anything, like today in real world, when we are doing BPM, it's about, what is the failure and test scenarios, and where do we stand. So it have more business level access where you can see more clear outstanding reports which would say where we are in the green or red area. So we go with the behavior development, and what we are going to talk here is how are we giving this behavior driven development. We know that in the world of BPM, we use a lot of BAL rules, and where we kind of write using natural English or logic. So similar way of approach is what we are using here. So we use Gherkin syntax, which again is the BAL rule where we have internally built in. And we have the main reason, the natural languages is going to put business analysts on the spot and, and decide with more clear approach, is this the right process or the testing that we are making. So to go further onto it, when we talk about Gherkin script, it is glue coded with Java code, so you write your own traditional code behind the scenes, and you'll be going ahead writing from the natural language English. So here is a simple example of the syntax that we will go with, and where you see the scenario outline, it says that, okay, so it's a simple, straightforward statement that we see here. Do Google search for given keywords and verify correct search result as written, which means that, we are trying to see that, okay, this is my search and, like kind of outlining this is the result. So if you see, given my web app, Google is open, this opens the browser, and then they enter the search keyword, so tell the search keyword and click the search button. This is a simple natural English, and, any business user can also understand what's going on, rather, full of automation scripts, which is, like not even in a natural English language. And this is kind of, where more platforms are getting updated. And so Cucumber makes it more open source and, easy to use. So here is some sample test scripts which we have in depth on our slides where it can help. So this is something to do very specific to BPM application. If you would walk through the BPM application scenarios, you have like where you see this my web app IBM BPM is open. So it's where, it talks to the process portal. We tell the process portal URL, and then you have the username and password where you would go in. So kind of, next, you see the scenario where we have a different request going in. So we have made a demo where we have an insurance request going in, and this whole demo shows like how we have kind of automated those human code screens and how we are testing. And again, saying about, we know that we are talking more human code screen here, but Cucumber can even leverage, from the end of web service testing as well as the automation testing. So how do I configure my BPM? It's straightforward. You can use an Excel and you can kind of dictate. This is the particular user and this is the attached points. So if you see here, there is many parameters that says requisition form frame, requisition number. So all you are doing is passing inputs and going ahead to enter the values. So we'll see a more cleaner approach as we go. And just there is a quick console log that shows like after the run. If you see, there is something that points 4 scenarios, 1 failed and 3 passed. So this is kind of a more console via approach where you can log the error, but you have the more report that's attached as the HTML reports, which can be a PDF export reports, but it gives more HTML with clickable features. So the main power of BPM comes here where you see that it gives the scenario steps and totals. So it gives a clear breakup, how many past scenarios you had, how many failed scenarios you had. And we all know, working with BPM dashboards are key, and Cucumber kind of leverages and gives this high-level dashboard even towards testing with all the breakup of sections where we see that these are your use cases and this is where we fail, which gives us a clear decision to go ahead with our prod. And so this is more detailed HTML screenshot. So it has many views and you can even extend the reports. And you have automated emails that goes in. So whenever there is a report, if you want to automate it to your manager, business process head for an approval, it kind of works well with that where it automates and sends the email. And so here we have kind of some more scenario where you have the test. And I would like straightly to the demo. So anytime the power of the product is seen via demo. So I have a shorter demo which would kind of brief through how the tool works. And I'll be switching to the demo screen. So just let me know if everybody is able to see the demo or if there's any interruptions. So we have a demo where we have created a BPM healthcare plan flow. The use case is around creating a new insurance request where we have different people log in, and basically the call center agent takes the input of the person's details with insurance around his dependent information and his age and other criteria. And the best part is we have an ODM back connected where ODM decides based on the input what would be the information entered, and based on that it calculates the age. So we have a service. If you see here, this is a login failure scenario we recorded, and now we go with the right scenario. We did the failure scenario, so you could see the detailed report how it looks through. So we have different scenarios here documented in natural language of English, and the scenario is executing. So this is the automation process which runs offline. So we have Cucumber automated where it logs into the portal, uses, so here is where it uses the power of the Selenium WebDriver that we discussed, and we have the process being started, and we have a place where, like kind of we log in and say that whether it's a new enrollment or it's going to be an existing member. So for the demo, we are going with the enrollment in the new plan flow where BPM kind of, projects like, okay, here is the new enrollment with the screens entered and makes the communication to ODM. So technically we are, testing end to end till the end of ODM, and we have also included the ODM service over here. So we go with the simple digit calendars, and if you remember the slides where we saw the parameters for the digit calendar can be set via XPath. So the date that is entered as date of birth is being fed into the system. There are some more inputs that it's trying to feed in, and we have our annual income and we have our address going in. So now we have a flow where it can decide, like, with the radio button, whether you have a dependence or not, and this is being done with Cucumber. So we have the name entered around and we have the date of birth that goes in, and kind of we have the relationship that's entered. So we have a digi calendar that can go and scroll to the back date. And so as a part of this flow, when this information is entered, you would see kind of a plans provided. And this is coming from the ODM integration. So it decides based on the age entered, what is the cost, and which plan would you like to enroll. So the moment we get enrolled, we have a successful message of member being created into the system. And from here, the first flow is over, and kind of now we need to switch to the second flow, which involves an approver logging in and reviewing. So we know it's a workflow. There is a step of process that's in. So now you would technically need to, switch to your approver mode. If you see here, BPM does that with the configurations towards. So we see that Cucumber have automated it, and then we go in. So here we go as a reviewer. So as a reviewer, we will be seeing the task that is there. We have automated in such a way that you can kind of key in the task that is created and you're able to review it. So here goes with the review cycle. We kind of review it here. So we logged in as a different user where we kind of did the flow. We created the user, and then now we are going back for claiming the task, approving it. And this is where we kind of end the flow and saying, okay, the test case is now complete. We have a pending review, and I'm approving this. So it's approved. There is a status change. Now this is a happy part that's recorded, and we had a failure that we recorded. So what we are trying to see is over the Cucumber framework now, okay, how did the test go? Where did the test results kind of went through? So this is where we have kind of a process where we have run all the scenarios. Now we are measuring it. If you see, there is 4 scenarios where one failed is the login place, and you have more than 65 steps passed, and you have one step of failure, and you have a clear message indicating, okay, this is the login failure, and this failed because you entered a wrong username and password. So this is where we go with the login information, and now we go to the power of HTML reports. This is a kind of local reports that you're seeing from the browser, but this can be, kind of a detail with logging in information. So, kind of all your business users or your QA managers or anyone who would be interested in knowing can go ahead. And the powerful feature is that you see every single step recorded with the screen capture. So where the screen capture kind of says that you have the features like this is where the failure occurred, and this is how the screen looked. This is more detailed reports. So we have tagging, And we have different features that Cucumber kind of provides where we'll be able to get more statistical information, which are the flows fail. So this is more towards to add towards the power, and you have more in-depth steps where you go and like what was the clicks. So this way really, like you kind of use this and kind of automate this. We have seen really good successful rates with our customers who went through shorter cycles with the help of Cucumber automation. And the coverage is something what we really leverage the power by customizing all fields for the behavior being, defined. How do you enter the data? We had a lot of Dojo tools integration where we were able to pass on the data because we know that in BPM, end of the day, we use a lot of Dojo, we have Angular. So we were able to kind of connect with many tools and we were going with a successful rate in terms of automating and reducing the time and as well as having a full-fledged reports and, the communication between and the collaboration between the team is a lot easier with more runtime updates, where the failure is and if you want to go through it. So this brings all the power of BPM, and this is where we kind of leverage. So this, I hope this is a good demo, and especially if you're a heavy BPM user with a lot of human code screens, I would really recommend that like we would like you to evaluate Cucumber framework because we have seen success in the past, and we use other tools around. And the only reason that we kind of lean on is they are up ahead the market with their behavior-driven approach of natural English. So this is where we wanted to add and hope you all enjoyed the demo. So I just would like to, like go ahead with a little bit information. So what are the services provided from our end? So as a technical BPM team, we do a lot of services which involves migration, customization, implementation, and installation. Pretty much, like how we start, especially if you're interested in automation, is we kind of go ahead and provide an automation support and consulting where we could kind of go ahead and see you how many streams you have and how we evaluate and go further on it. So we have different customized packages and services, and we do offer across the different vertical of BPM we work with. So saying that, I'll turn it over to Amar so that he can give more details about like kind of saying who we are in the market. Okay, Amar, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Rajni. Okay, basically, this is a bunch of our clients. We have worked with a numerous plethora of clients, highly renowned companies such as Pfizer, Ford, Marsh, and Belkin. We do implementation on all platforms of IBM, especially business process management, but Web3 commerce and order sterling management are also our strong points. Now, if you guys have any questions or answers, you guys can answer us right now. I mean, you guys can ask us questions right now. We're going to unmute everyone. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to contact us. If you have any questions later, you can email us at the email link provided on the next slide. 1 second. Once again, guys, if you guys have any question, you can email us at marketing@royalcyber.com. Or for information, you can email us at info@royalcyber.com. And for support and billing queries, you can email us at support or billing@royalcyber.com. Once again, guys, this has been a webinar by Royal Cyber. Thank you and have a great day.